Welcome back to the NebraskaLand Bank podcast. On today's episode, we have Justin Hernandez and Mike Works, the new owners of the Platte River Mall. They share their vision for the redevelopment of the mall, and it's pretty amazing. You don't want to miss it. We recorded this episode over Zoom, and there are a few gremlins in the audio, so you have our apologies, but just ignore it and listen on because it's great content. Thanks for being here. Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Ty.
Together, we are hosting the NebraskaLand Bank podcast. We promise this isn't some boring bank podcast.
That's right. We aim to entertain. Listen in every other Monday and we'll tackle topics like finance, business, sports, community events, and maybe even a course or two of great food finds.
We're always community-minded.
Every voice.
Every topic.
Every time. So turn the volume up, settle in, and let's talk NebraskaLand. Well, good morning, Danielle. My blood is flowing a little faster than normal this week because anybody that knows me knows I love Super Bowl week. Huge NFL fan. And, after Thanksgiving, I think the Super Bowl is probably not my next favorite holiday. So are you excited for Super Bowl week?
I actually am. I never used to be a huge football fan, but I think a byproduct of having a husband who loves NFL football, and after having kids that have played football, it's grown on me. So although I don't know a lot about what's actually happening in the game, I'm definitely becoming a bigger fan over the years.
Well, this is a tremendous game. I mean, to have the Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Bucks at home for the first time ever in the Super Bowl, playing the Kansas City Chiefs, this is exciting. Now, of course, I'm Denver Broncos all the way. And so this is kind of painful because I've hated the Chiefs my whole life. And, I'm kind of programmed that way. But at the same time, I mean, Mahomes and Andy Reid, they're pretty cool. And the way they play is cool. Now, what's your football alliance?
So I generally pick my teams based on color or like who's cute on the team. So I became a Tom Brady fan when Danny Woodhead was playing on the Patriots, because I actually graduated high school with Danny. So I was a fan and became a fan that way because I realized he was really cute. So I've been a Tom Brady fan. But then when I started watching Mahomes play, I don't know anything about football, but I love watching him play. I feel like he's just entertaining. I love his techniques and his style on and off the field, and his whole story is great. Like, he's marrying his college girlfriend. It's just cute. Like, he just has a great story. So I became a Chiefs fan. So this is a hard decision for me, because I love Tom Brady, I think it's pretty incredible how he played for the Patriots, led them to the Super Bowl multiple times, and now he switched teams to a team who are the Bucks. I've never even heard of them before this year. And here they are in the Super Bowl. So there's a lot of Tom Brady haters, and I'm not one of them. I don't know how you can hate somebody just because they're successful and they're good at what they do.
Yeah, it's a good example of some people are maybe just a little envious of greatness, but he has greatness. Plus, we've got a couple great Huskers playing on the Bucks too. You got Ndamukong Suh, and you've got Levante David. I mean, we've got some phenomenal Huskers out there to cheer for too. So why don't you start? Let's get your prediction for the game first.
Okay, so I feel like there's no loser. My heart wants Brady to win this Super Bowl, but I feel like the Chiefs have it. I just think they're unstoppable, and so I can't bet against the Chiefs.
Well, and the Vegas odds like you're thinking too, because I think they're a 3.5 point favorite. I'm going the other direction on this one. There might be a bet opportunity here. I'm going the other direction on this one. I think the Chiefs' offensive line is maybe a little banged up. I'm not quite sure they're ready for this game. I think Ndamukong Suh, back to our Huskers, is going to have the game of his life, and I think Tampa Bay is going to win a squeaker. So I think Brady's got enough gas in the tank, and I think that the offensive line play by the Chiefs is going to fold at the end, and the Bucks are going to win it. That's my prediction.
Okay. I think the opposite. I think the Chiefs might have a rough beginning, kind of like they do often, and they're going to make a comeback and take it all.
Well, now the crazy part of this podcast will come out the Monday after the Super Bowl, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes,
and
it will.
So here we are. We're recording this right before the Super Bowl. So you guys are going to be able to back test our predictions right upon the launch.
So how about this, Ty? Let's make a little bet. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, you bring the marketing department breakfast.
Okay, well, therefore, if the Bucks win the Super Bowl, then it sounds like the commercial loan officers are getting breakfast made by you, right?
I guess so.
Okay, now
I can't wait.
Now, speaking of food, I think that's a great bet. Other than the commercial loan officer team's a little bigger than the marketing department,
Yeah,
so
that's okay
it's fair.
because the Chiefs are going to win. So
yeah, see, and you've got the points, so I think this all evens out.
Yeah.
This is a fair bet. Now, speaking of Super Bowl food, what's your favorite Super Bowl food or Super Bowl appetizer?
I love it all. I love dips, chip dips. I'm very simple. I will say that Jared has been, I'm not even kidding, like for weeks, has been looking up recipes.
He's kind of a serious cook, isn't he?
Oh, I wouldn't say serious cook, but he loves food. So like while I'm doing other things like looking up house stuff or whatever on I'm like, what are you doing over there on your phone? He's on social media, but he's like a foodie. He's looking up food recipes or those like taste it videos.
Well, that sounds good. Is there any particular dip recipe that you like to make for the Super Bowl?
Not specifically the Super Bowl, but we have like a corn one that we go to often with jalapenos. It's really good. The cream cheese corn jalapeno dip. Good. And then I always, of course, love the just the simple like Velveeta cheese hamburger, Rotel tomatoes or whatever. Those are like the simple, but they're my favorite. They're so good.
Oh, those are so good. We made a big switch in our house. Historically, we had the cut up jalapenos from the little can in that, and one of my friends convinced us to switch to the Rotella camp. And so I think it's better that way. So I think you've got that figured out.
You guys are the chefs over there. In another life, I think Ty and Jackie should have had a restaurant of their own. So what do you do for the Super Bowl?
Well, you got to understand, buffalo wings are like my favorite food on the face of the earth. And a lot of my friends like my wings and always will tell me I have to make them if we're having a get together for like the Super Bowl, things like that. So I brought my wing recipe with you today. See, I wrote this out. I don't know, maybe if we have a website, maybe we can put it on the website or something.
We'll include a link for sure.
Okay, we'll have a link. Okay, so first of all, you have to make a dry rub for your chicken wings. And that's onion powder, paprika, salt or seasoned salt, and black pepper. So it's really simple. Okay. Then what you want to do is you want to take, and I like the wings that you actually have to cut at the joint. Like I want the whole chicken wing and then I can cut it down from there. I like to marinate them in like sriracha sauce or hot sauce or whatever's laying around in my refrigerator. Doesn't matter. Then I like to put them in the smoker for like an hour, maybe 2. Then after that, I put a little bit of olive oil or butter on them, put more of the dry rub back on them. And then I just like to grill them until they're crispy. Then after they're crispy, I mix in hot sauce with a little butter, or you can use a pre-bought wing sauce, glazing them up on the grill and serving them with blue cheese dressing. And that is my favorite Super Bowl food.
Okay, I think I'm changing the bet. If the Chiefs win, Ty, you're making marketing some boneless or some buffalo wings.
Okay,
not boneless.
They can't be boneless.
No, not boneless.
Boneless wings should
be
illegal. But yeah, okay, I'll agree to that. But I think the commercial officer group still wants breakfast.
Okay, that's fine. I can do that.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I actually have a funny chicken wing story that ties back to the Bucks. When Ndonakun Sue was here for the Big Red Banquet, we got the opportunity to visit with him. My son got to go seek an autograph from him. And my sons were little at that time, and he was such a kind and nice guy when he was here. So he's sitting there, and he's got this whole big platter of buffalo wings. And my son comes up, and he's really nervous. And, Mr. Sue, could I have an autograph? He's like, well, sure. Hey, would you like have a couple chicken wings? And so my son, just in a pure nerves attack, literally like took 3 of his buffalo wings and sat there and ate them with Ndonakun Sue. So
That's
there's no
awesome.
way I can go against the Bucks this week.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun story and great memory.
That's great. Well, let's go ahead and jump into today's episode.
Okay, well, we have our first podcast today via Zoom. So this is kind of exciting. And with us, I'm really proud to introduce, we have Mike Works and Justin Hernandez, and they are the owners of the Platte River Mall. So welcome, guys. It's great to have you here in the NebraskaLand Bank podcast.
Great. It's great to be invited. Appreciate it.
Well, I don't have any background on you guys, so I'd love to just hear a little bit about you and kind of how you got to be where you are today. I have a teenage son who's about to graduate high school, and he's interested in the construction management program at UNK. And so selfishly, I just kind of want to hear a little bit about your background, and maybe I can offer him some tips on his career path too.
Be my guest. Sounds good. Well, Mike and I are involved with Rev Development. It's a development company that we formed about 2 years ago, and we've really focused on small town development and bringing a new mixed use product and kind of a nicer amenity package or lifestyle package to some communities that are not typically looked at by most developers. My background is in construction. I founded NGC Group, which is a commercial construction company, about 10, 11 years ago, and met Mike, I think about 5 years ago, just through building some hotels and other apartment projects. And we've moved forward into the Rev venture and continue building multiple projects together, it looks like, for the foreseeable future. So that's some background on me. And Mike, you can fill in on yourself.
Yeah, I started as an attorney, realized that I like the hospitality business way better than arguing in court. So here we are. Lucky to meet Justin back in 2014. And like you said, we've been building together since. I'm super excited to have the opportunity to be in North Platte. And I do agree. We're going to bring something to North Platte that isn't there yet. And I think everybody's going to be really excited about it.
Great. And you guys are both from Lincoln. Is that where you reside permanently or?
Correct. Yes, we're both from Lincoln.
Great.
Now, I think I've seen that NGC flag or crane maybe in the skylines of Lincoln in the last couple of years. Do you guys build in the eastern part of the state a lot?
So at NGC Group, our commercial construction company that I'm heavily involved with, we build in about 8 different states right now, everything from wind turbines to hotels to office buildings, apartments, schools. Most of our work currently is in either Lincoln area or actually out in Colorado. With the different economic changes that the 2020 year of COVID has presented to all of us, we've tried to make sure we're aligning our business model with that. And again, looking forward to getting a crane up there out in North Platte and bringing something special to that community.
I'm so excited to hear about this. I can't wait to hear more about what your vision is for the space in North Platte at the mall. So if you could help me visualize a little bit what that might look like, I think our listeners would love to hear it as well.
Well, the mall, as you know it, for many people in North Platte, is not the most attractive mall in the area, and really challenging to find out what those stores, who the stores are that are in the building. Yeah, there's not a lot of green space, public space, and it doesn't have a reason to really be there right now. There's unfortunately people leaving the mall rather than coming. I think between Mike and I, our vision was to understand if we could bring a lifestyle community development to North Platte that was similar to some of the bigger cities that we have developed in, and more of a mixed use development. So with Mike's expertise and the brokerage and kind of the legal side of it and structuring the deals, and then mine on the construction side and budgeting, and both of us spending countless hours on design and site plan, we have now reached a vision that will bring a little over 100 new multifamily units to the North Platte community. And that will be in a 4-story building that will have retail on the first floor with many stores that people want to shop at and retailers that want to be there, and drive-up access right there. We're looking for that right fit for the brewery and a lot of new fun kind of eating and dining establishments that would go out in the front area, and then incorporating green space in different areas. So it is pet friendly, walkable, a great use of the overall space. And we are going to highlight an area that we believe can add a tremendous amount of value to the community, which is a conference space for up to 400 people to help enjoy this development, and the community can then benefit as a whole from the efforts that are going into redeveloping basically 20 some acres right now that's greatly underutilized, and I don't think had much money put into it over the last 15 years. So Mike, did I miss anything on that? Or
No, I think the point we'd like to make is we're trying to create a place where we would want to live. If we were in North Platte and we were picking out a place to get an apartment, this is where we'd want to live. We can walk to entertainment, the new movie theater. We're going to be excited to announce that we do have a movie theater partner that's going to move back in and open back up in the near future. As Justin said, restaurants, bars, shopping, all of it within walking distance. And then just the landscaping level and the public areas. So you've got, if you've been to the rail yard, you can see the big screen TV and seating outdoors so that you can sit outside and have a beer and enjoy. Maybe it's a Husker football game, maybe it's a high school football game. But that's the sort of living atmosphere that we want to create.
That sounds incredible.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking, so my youngest son, he's about 16. Danielle, if you would take him for his final 2 years of high school and two of my 3 dogs, then I could take one of my dogs, live in the apartments, walk to work, and life would just be great.
No
I mean,
kidding.
It might be a couple of years premature, but I can foresee myself in this kind of living condition as soon as my youngest son's out of the house. So this sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So as far as the living, I guess like what price range would it be offered at?
We're still working through the final rent numbers, but we want to make sure that it's a market rate rent. We're not going to a luxury level that is going to price the units outside of the market. And we are not using some different funds or government assistance that has rent restrictions on it. So we want to make sure that it's a rent that fits the market and that allows the retailers also to succeed there with the apartments above them. Finishes would be all granite or quartz tops, stainless steel appliances, laminate floors in certain apartments, a balcony space coming off of them. We'll have garages there that are attached to the building, so you can still access that, have some parking. And I really think with the farmers market and other community events there, this is going to be the place that you want to live if you like a lifestyle location for North Platte.
And I'd like to add that we have elevators, which unlike any other apartment complex in town, what we found is that in Columbus, where we just opened up a similar facility, we've got people from the age of 25 all the way up to 75. And that's what that elevator allows us to do, is have folks that don't want to be climbing stairs over and over.
How do you secure the retailers in a space like that?
The retailers, that's a good question. First of all, we designed the building to ensure that we're not having a lot of noise issues between the floors, and that we've got security on the back end of the building so you can still get deliveries in and out. And then there's some public restrooms that we'd be managing to ensure that those are always cleaned and available. But then as far as securing them on the lease side and making sure that they're able to come into the space and fit within the community, that's really where Mike's expertise comes in. So I'll let you kind of take that.
I can tell you that we've had a lot of interest already from the existing retailers in the mall. It's probably not going to come as a surprise to you that indoor malls are not probably the future of shopping. And so the mall itself actually the stores will be facing out towards Dewey Street with drive-up parking right in front of these different shops. So I think all of them are going to enjoy better signage, better just frontage, and easier parking for the folks that want to shop there. And then the first floor buildings as well under the apartments very similarly have drive-up parking, all glass fronts. It's going to feel like being in Western Omaha or a suburb of Kansas City is what it's going to feel like. So in terms of access for those retailers, I think this is such a huge step forward from where they are in the mall. So far, all the responses have been really positive.
We hear a lot that people are concerned about seeing more regional or national type retailers again back in North Platte like we used to have years ago. Do you guys think North Platte's attractive to larger or regional type businesses, or do you think most of the tenants will be more local type businesses that end up in your community?
I think you're lucky in North Platte that you draw from a much larger region, as you know, than just North Platte itself. And that's what we're hearing from the retailers as well. So I think what we're going to end up with is a really nice mix of local, Brittany's, for instance, the local boutique shops. And then also we're having good response already from regional folks and national folks that have shown interest in the mall and the new development. So I think you're going to have a nice mix of that because other folks, while it's still a smaller market, Some of the bigger players out there are definitely seeing that there is a need in North Platte. I think what we keep hearing from people in North Platte is that everybody drives to Kearney. We want to stop that.
Yeah. Well, as I hear from people from throughout the community, I know a lot of people are looking for different things. And I've always been convinced that North Platte is ready for these businesses. We just didn't necessarily have a place developed for them to go. So this is so exciting. What I'm curious about is, what are the little things that are hard or tricky or that are unknown about a project like this? I mean, what's the challenge that somebody like ourselves or somebody listening wouldn't have any idea that it takes to do a development like this? What's kind of the secret or the hard to accomplish thing to pull a project like this off?
You want to go first on that one?
Yeah. How much time do we have left? So.
As much as you want. I think the people in our area love to hear about this.
Well, there are many challenges that go with every project, and actually we say no to more projects than we say yes to. I would say that the hardest challenge that you have as on the development side is saying no. There's projects that look great for a lot of reasons, but when you get into the underlying conditions, sometimes the market's not there. Sometimes the building or the property that you're wanting to place your development on isn't zoned correctly. Sometimes the city has restrictions that don't align with what you think as a developer should be done. Could be a lot of challenges. And then with COVID last year impacting the nation or the world, development is a lot more challenging just to get done and make sure that it's a viable development for the future to come when you don't have that crystal ball. So you're planning years in advance, and you've got to make the right decisions in 6 to 8 months on how that will affect you for the next 10 to 20 years. And I think our team, between Mike and I and the resources that we work with, we look for great communities, good lending partners, good banks, good cities that are on board with rezoning or progressive in their approach to understanding that things maybe today aren't exactly what they were 15 years ago, and that we could change some things around to make it a better development 10 to 15 years in the future, not just developing for right now today. The mall property has its significant challenges. The structure is aging. The roof is aging. The HVAC was aging. The facade needs a significant improvement to align with the vision that we've talked about. And, there's some structural things that we did have to overcome on how we're planning to divide up the mall. One thing that it did have was an abundance of parking and ground, which was great. All these other challenges, they're difficult. And then the respect of each one of the tenants that are existing in the current mall, we can't just go in there and say, well, we want this one and we don't want that one. And we have to work with people and meet goals for everyone. So it's challenging. It's a big investment up front before you ever know that you're going to get any kind of return. So, Mike, anything I'm missed on that one?
I think Justin hit it all.
Okay.
Well, personally, I want to say thank you for your interest in North Platte and for your courage to try to do something like that here. I think the North Platte residents are going to be extremely grateful and excited to hear about these plans. What about timeline? I'm curious what that looks like.
It's our hope. Yes, our hope is that we've obviously sat down with the city for a first blush at what the new mall will look like. They've responded really positively. It's our hope that we will be back in front of planning and then city council sometime in the month of March, and that actual construction, probably demolition first, and then construction would start sometime in late April, early May.
Wow.
On a number of different pieces. Obviously, there's several phases to this. Part of it is the multifamily apartment complex and retail. Part of it is new retailers out on Dewey Street, new restaurants out on Dewey Street. And then there's just the complete overhaul of the mall itself. And so different phases to this, but we're really hopeful that all of that will get started by early summer.
Well, our company made the decision many years ago that North Platte was a great place to invest in. And I can tell you that this community has treated us so well, and we hope that we've given back our fair share to this community too. But North Platte is a wonderful place to do business, and we're just so excited to have you guys here. We really are.
Well, that's great. We would like to tell you that we're partnering with the Chamber. This is no longer really going to be a mall as much as it is going to be a new development. So we're asking everybody in North Platte to chime in on what the new name of the mall should be. And obviously there'll be some sort of award for whoever gets picked for the best name. But we would love for input from the public in North Platte as to what we should be calling the new development.
That's great. That's so fun.
This is your kind of deal, Danielle. Yeah. You like contests like this.
Yeah. So. We'll definitely help put the word out about the contest.
That would be great. And I can send you Justin's email if your son wants to apply, by the way.
Oh, great. Oh, good. He probably does need a summer job. So.
Do you want to talk banking for a few minutes?
That sounds great.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this came up at family dinner last night, PPP, and when the deadline is and who can qualify. But I feel like I've heard you guys talk about this, about having some customers or some people think that they won't qualify, but they actually do. So I thought that it would be a good topic to talk about briefly. Deadline, how to apply, just generally who might qualify.
Yeah, it's a really interesting topic. What Danielle's referring to is the Paycheck Protection Program, which was part of the CARES Act, and which is the economic stimulus, and then part of the Economic Aid Act, which was revised here at the end of the year and passed into law. And it's a tricky program. You know, in my whole career, I've worked in commercial lending and banking for over 20 years. And I never in my life thought we would be doing this job. Basically, the government went out to the banks and said, hey, we want to get a whole bunch of money out to the business community as stimulus and to protect people's paychecks and to take some ease off the unemployment system and to try to give business owners some ease of mind as they go through this pandemic. But we don't have the staff and the resources to do it. So banks, we want you to do it. We want you to help us. So it's really a grant program, but it's done in a forgivable loan. And that's how the money is managed in a way to prevent fraud and make sure it gets used for the proper purposes. And so all the banks that are SBA lenders or want to become SBA lenders could sign up to participate. Of course, we were right at the beginning. We raised our hand originally and said, yes, we absolutely want to be involved in this. And whether you like stimulus programs like this or not, the government was doing it and the business community has the option of applying for it. And so in the first round, which happened back in April and May primarily, if you were a company that had payroll and was in need of the money, you would likely qualify. When they opened up the second program, it's designed for businesses that had a 25% drop in any quarter of 2020 versus a quarter of 2019. So, for example, a lot of companies had a really bad second quarter of 2020. Well, if they compare that to 2019 and they were below 25% in sales, they can qualify for the second Paycheck Protection Program. And so right now we are working hard every day. And our job is to be a resource to the business community, both our customers and other businesses that are in the communities that we're in. Our job is to be a resource and to help them navigate the program. The deadline is the end of March, and the government has a certain amount tagged to this program. I think anybody that wants to look at this program should probably do it before the end of February just to make sure they don't run out of money. And we're happy to be a resource, whether you bank with us or not. We want to be a place that businesses in the communities that we are in can come to and get assistance with this program if it's something they're interested in. So please feel welcome to reach out to any NebraskaLand Bank's location, to the commercial lending team, and we're happy to answer any questions you have about PPP.
Great. Thanks, Ty. I wish you would have been at our dinner last night. You could have done a lot better than me.
Well, it's been, like I said, it's not anything that we imagined working on if we went back a year ago, but we are proud to help the businesses in our community that need the assistance. And I think it's made a tremendous impact on our community. So we're glad to play the role that the government's asked us to play.
Great. Okay, well, we have a fun game of trivia for you guys. This is how we are ending each episode. So we've got 3 questions. In order to win, you just have to get 2 of the 3 correct. If you win, you get $100 to award to a charity of your choice. And if you lose, the $100 stays in the pot. And our next guest will then play for $200. So really, there are no losers, but Ty helped come up with some questions today for our trivia. So I'll just dive right in. It's A, B, and C. So you just have to select the correct answer. So this Sunday, Tom Brady will play in the Super Bowl for the A, 5th time, B, 8th time, or C, 10th time.
We're definitely going with C. We're going with 10th time.
Good job. How easy are these questions, Ty?
After that
Appreciate that, Ty, by the way. Yes.
After that confident of answer, I'm starting to think, okay, these guys are pretty clued in with the NFL. These might be a little too easy, but that's okay.
Okay. I think I would have guessed 10th, but who knows? Okay. If the Chiefs win Sunday's Super Bowl, they will A, have the same number of Super Bowl victories in comparison to the Denver Broncos. B, they will have more Super Bowl victories than the Broncos. Or C, have less Super Bowl victories than the Broncos.
Wow.
This one's a little trickier, isn't it?
Well, I remember when Elway got his couple in a row.
That's what I was going to say.
I think we say more.
Okay. Go for it.
We think this is going to be the third. We're going to go with more. KC will have more if they win this weekend.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Incorrect.
Okay.
They will have the same number of Super Bowl victories.
Okay, now I purposely added that question because, we're out here in Bronco land a little bit.
Yeah.
We're kind of just left of the Chiefs Bronco line. So I just wanted it to be reminded all of our listeners that currently the Broncos do have more Super Bowl rings than the Chiefs, just for the record.
If you're picking up that you're a little bit more of a Broncos fan than a Chiefs fan,
well,
is that fair to say?
Of course.
Okay, in 2004, what halftime artist caused the infamous wardrobe malfunction that resulted in an FCC fine of $550,000 in CBS? A, Gloria Estefan. B, Janet Jackson. C, New Kids on the Block.
Well, we all love New Kids on the Block, but we're definitely going with B, Janet Jackson.
Yeah, that one was way easy.
Yeah, that was kind of an easy one, wasn't it?
Good job, guys. You get the $100 for a charity of your choice. So who will you be donating to?
We'd like to keep it in North Platte, and you have some recommendations for a great local charity there that services direct to the school or for people in North Platte?
I've got one for you. Our North Platte High School Foundation has a wonderful program called the Backpack Program that helps kids with things they need for either school, meals, or those types of things. And in our next podcast episode, we're actually interviewing the director of the Public School Foundation. She's one of our interviewees in our next podcast. And so if you're looking for one, I think that Backpack Program would be fantastic.
I think let's go there, and we'll add another $100 on top of the 100 that we just won here to make it $200 towards there. So
that's amazing. That's just
wow. That is
amazing.
so kind of you guys, not only to spend your time with us, but to do that for them too. They'll be thrilled.
They will be thrilled.
Great.
Wow. That's very heartwarming. Thank you.
Well, it's been so nice to have you guys here today. I can start to visualize your project, and I just can't wait to see it. It's going to change the whole landscape of North Platte. We're so excited, and anything we can do to be a help or support to you guys, we want to be there to help.
Wonderful.
Sounds good. Thanks for the time.
Yeah. Danielle, Ty, thanks, guys.
Yes. Thanks so much.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you both. Thanks for tuning in to the NebraskaLand Bank podcast. This podcast is, of course, sponsored by NebraskaLand National Bank. We are a member FDIC and equal housing lender. For Ty's wing recipe, follow us on Facebook at NebraskaLand Bank Podcast, and I'll be sure to let you know how they are after the Chiefs win the Super Bowl next week. If you liked this episode, leave us a review and share it. You can also visit NebraskaLandBank.com/podcast. Community minded, every voice, every topic, every time.